This is Coogan Cassius for Eiffel TV. What are you laughing at?
Just when you start, I laugh.
Oh.
Because it's sort of like, I remember when we started.
Yeah?
Yeah, you were a lot fatter.
So were you. And your hair was receding
That was
more.
that was before the
Definitely they'd done something to your
7
hair.
hair ops now. Yeah, you've been on the roids. We're all good to go.
How are you, Eddie?
Very, very well. Very well. Eric, happy birthday.
Cheers, mate. Thank
No worries, mate. No worries,
Sorry,
mate.
Coog, I'm jumping his legs.
Right, mate. No problem, no problem.
That's all right.
No worries, mate.
How are you, Edward?
I'm very well. I'm back. This is real. This tan. Ones in the past haven't been, but this one is. Back from a week in Antigua with the family.
You were there longer than a week.
I was there 9 days, but a week sounds better than it. I feel refreshed. I feel revitalised. We're here for a great press conference today, great turnout. We've got New York on Friday. We're planning a year. We've got a new announcement in Charles Frankham today. We've got 2 new signings to be announced in the next 24 hours. I'm buzzing, mate. I'm buzzing. I was getting a bit tired after 14 weeks on the spin after Whyte, but I am ready. I am ready. And all you motherfuckers out there, you better be shitting yourself, because I've got more energy, more desire than ever before, and I'm going to annoy you, and I'm going to live in your head rent-free for 365 days, motherfuckers. Excuse the language. I got told off about swearing. Someone typed in an email saying they're concerned about my swearing.
On what?
Mainly with you.
Oh.
So I've said MF twice. I'm not going to swear for the rest of the interview. I apologise. That was noted.
Let's talk about Feb 2nd
Yeah.
at the O2. The Young Guns.
Yes. So I feel like it's a bit of a transition. I'm very proud of these guys. We've had them from the debut. People like Cheeseman, people like Felix Cash, people like Coley. It's quite unusual to see someone like Ted Cheeseman stepping up after just being 15-0, not just 15-0, but without really the experience to step up. And he actually talks about, you know, I've been matched. I think it's been hard to match Ted Cheeseman. I don't think he's really ready to fight for the European title. Byfield was a big step up for him. He boxed really well. He showed a few flaws, but you'd want him to really have 1 or 2 at British level before moving in to fight a guy who's top 5 with the WBC, world ranked European champion. You know, Sergio Martinez promoted. They really see this guy as a top Spanish star who can go on and fight for world titles. But listen, I'm over the moon that we've got someone like Cheeseman, a Bermondsey boy, who can fight at the O2. It's a massive arena. It's a massive ask for him. But this is what we want to try and do. If you don't build the future stars... Now, I was speaking to a black cab driver about this morning. He was saying, who's the new stars coming through? I said, the problem is that you've got all these guys, Amir Khan fighting Terence Crawford, you've got Kell Brook will be in a big fight, you know, you've got Bellew's just retired, you've got Hayes just retired. If we don't build these guys now, when those guys are done, people are going to be asking, who's the new guys coming through? You can't just throw them in people's faces and go, oh, it's Boatsi, it's Kelly, it's Cheeseman. You've got to watch them grow, and you've got to build them as they get there, because you see so many fighters in America who become world champions that don't mean a row of beans. So you've got to build them on the way up, let people follow their journeys, and let them follow them, win British, European, hopefully world titles as well.
Jake Paul, Craig Richards, finally, hopefully,
yeah,
happens.
well, 3 weeks, so
Yeah.
you hope so. I mean,
Hope so.
It's an interesting story. Jake said a few, you know, originally it was, I've got the dates wrong actually, October the 27th was the date where they were supposed to fight originally. Jake Paul pulled out of a hand injury. Then it was going to be rescheduled to December 1st. But we didn't do a show on December 1st, so we wanted to make it December 22nd. Jake Paul didn't want to go on December 22nd because Dominic Ingle was in Liam Williams' corner that night. Obviously just moved to him. So Craig, you know, wasn't happy about this. We've made it for February the 2nd. It's a really good fight. It's a 50-50 fight. Really good domestic light heavyweight scrap. And you look at that division at the moment, it's red hot. And I like it. I like it when we get 2 guys desperate to win. 2 guys that have a little bit of needle with each other. Neither guy can afford to lose, because if you lose that fight, you can forget about Johnson, Boatsi, Yard, all those kind of fights, and you're back fighting at English title level. So both guys must win, and both guys have had tough fights. Some of them have had more easy fights than others. They've both had easy fights, but now they're in the deep end, in a domestic fight with a little bit of needle. And that is what I love, because both guys are going to leave today a little bit pumped up, and they're quite inexperienced, but they're going to be in the gym tonight training like a demon, knowing that February the 2nd is the moment of truth at this stage in their career.
Charles Franco makes his long-awaited debut.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Felix Cash fighting for the Commonwealth. John Doherty out as well. So
Fabio Wardley, very good young
Wardley
heavyweight as well. Yeah, I mean, look, Felix Cash, I feel a bit sorry for him because he's wanted this kind of fight for a long time, and I've tried to deliver that kind of fight, but I haven't been able to. And now he gets a shot at the Commonwealth title, and he's a really, really good middleweight. Charles Frankham, a top young star. People have been telling me about him since he was about 15. Going to have a lot of support, going to be bringing that to the O2 February 2nd. Very young and a lot to learn. Going to take him nice and slow, but a real star to watch. Sky, yeah?
Yeah, it's nice.
Go.
Just picking this back up with Eddie Hearn, you obviously had to do your more important...
We didn't edit anything, by the way.
Anyway, Edward.
Yes.
Lawrence Okoli, opponent to be announced.
Yeah, it's been frustrating, to be honest. People don't really want to fight him domestically. I've had a couple of negotiations. People just want fortunes to fight him. I don't blame him. Like Waddy downstairs, and other people say they're not ready, need more prep time, and it's like I don't blame them because Lawrence Okoli is fucking horrible. I've done it again.
Sorry, don't worry. You don't have to apologise for swearing.
Okay, he's horrible to fight. He's awkward. He can punch. He's improving. He's had 10 fights. He's won the WBA International, the Commonwealth, the British title. He's ranked number 8 on BoxRec. But he's so raw, you know? And he looked awful against Askey. It was a horrible fight to watch. But he's so much better than that. But on one hand, you've got to say, okay, we understand it wasn't a poor performance. It was a boring performance. But on the other hand, let's take the positives. I'm a half glass full kind of guy. Look at where he is after 10 fights. That's what you want, isn't it? You don't want to see elite amateurs slow rolled all the way, do you? So we're fast rolling him and fast tracking him, but also understand that sometimes he might not be ready technically to put on a clinic, you know? So sometimes he has to win ugly. And he's done that against Chamberlain, and he's done that against Askey. The Watkins performance, great. Went in there, crash bang wallop, knocked him out. But he's improving, he's trying, he's learning, and he's taking it all in, and I believe he'll be a world cruiserweight champion.
With all due respect
to who?
Edward, to you.
Yeah.
Why are you putting the show on at the O2?
Because I think it's a great arena. Because sometimes at the O2, you don't get many bites of the cherry. So they will come to you and say, we have a date, in this instance, February the 2nd. This was probably August last year, something like that. Do you want it? You are the #1 boxing promoter in the world. We would love your events here more than anybody else.
Who at the O2 said this?
Some geezer called Eddie. And do you want it? And we'll say, yeah, we'll take it, February the 2nd. So we looked at other fights. We've sold nearly 3,000 tickets. We've got 3 weeks to go. So this is a 4,000, 4,500.
What's the percentage difference in between what you'd pay for it for like the 22nd, for example, to what you pay for it?
Not a lot. I mean, it will be lower tier, only, so that'll be less. But, you know, you're probably paying double. You can't put it in York Hall, right? It holds 1,400. We've sold 3,000. So you go Wembley, you go Ali Pally,
Copper Box.
We've done that. We did that for the last one. There is also, sorry to bore you, but there is also a natural sort of footpath traffic, if you like, of staging an event in the O2, where you almost sell 1,000 tickets before you even start, because it's boxing at the O2 and people love to go there. I also think there's an element of people excited by the new eras of fighters coming through. Thought Cheeseman was really exciting in the Copper Box. I mean, Cheeseman sold 500 or 600 tickets himself for the Copper Box. So he's building a nice following. He's from Bermondsey. And to be honest, give him the big stage. I'm not the kind of guy that's going to want to put a title fight on, and no disrespect to the Brentwood Centre, because I live in Brentwood. Well, I used to live in Brentwood.
There's nothing wrong with the Brentwood Centre, by the way.
There is if you're trying to build a major TV event with a future star. Yes, there absolutely is. There's nothing wrong with the Brentwood Centre, particularly if you want a game of badminton and a swim. Right? But if you want to build a major star and to give the perception to TV audiences that this kid is going to go on and become a world champion, it's not for me. I'm not criticising, I'm just saying. Okay? So that's not for us. it's a good venue for a next gen or for for a stream show or something like that. Great, but not when you're trying to give the perception that this guy is a future star.
Okay, lots to run through, Eddie. First of all, your signing of Liam Smith.
Yes.
Who was the last in the four that
The
you
last
hadn't,
one.
you
It's
hadn't
taken
worked
about
with.
4 years, yeah, but good. I'm really pleased to get Liam. I mean,
Amicable split with Frank Warren.
yeah, I don't really know
sounds
too
of it.
much about that. I mean,
Okay.
I got approached and asked if we'd like to sign him, and the answer was absolutely. You know, I think he's a guy who's got decent profile in the States through good performances against Munguia and Canelo. Lost those fights, but did himself proud in those. I think domestically he's one of the top 154 pounders out there. Of course, everybody starts presuming that a Kell Brook fight is done. Of course, it isn't, but that is a great fight.
Is
for
the
the
fight
future.
you were going to do with Liam going to happen for March the 30th?
We were going to do.
Yeah. What you told me.
Yes, yes.
Oh, it is?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. Which is
Fair play.
it's a good fight, and you know, obviously with our US deal, we can box him on both sides of the Atlantic. There's some big fights out him at 154 pounds. I think he's a very good fighter. Main thing, bring him back to Liverpool March 30th, and then a good fight, really good card coming March 30th. That'll be announced this week. Can't wait to go back to Liverpool. It'll be just under a year since we've been to Liverpool. We used to go to Liverpool 3 times a year. I absolutely love Liverpool.
Second that.
I love it. I love the people, I love the venue, I like the Hilton Hotel.
You only do it for the Hilton
Yeah,
Hotel.
I know. It's a great place to go for a drink after, if you're in town. But really good card coming to Liverpool March 30th.
Announced when?
Thursday, Friday?
This week?
Yeah, press conference next week.
Okay. If you could have handled the whole Brooke Khan situation differently, could you have handled it any differently, or is it just happened how it's happened?
I mean, I maxed out on the offers, you know, for Amir. Like, I was really at a stage where I was uncomfortable with where we were financially. And look, I just did an interview with Sky. They said, look, this boxing fan is disappointed. I said, look, so am I. Don't get me wrong. I'm not over the moon with the fact that he took the Terence Crawford fight, but you can't not. It's not like he's fighting Sid Snott in a 10-rounder. He's fighting Terence Crawford, who is on paper a better fighter than Kell Brook and a much tougher fight. So you can't say, oh, he's ducking Brook. I just feel like the fight that we all wanted to see was the Kell Brook fight. Sorry, and we didn't get it. So I'm not pissed off. I'm not raging. I'm just a bit gutted.
You said you would be pissed off if that
Yeah,
that
well,
happened.
I'm pissed off. No, not really. I just, you know, look, we've got a press conference tomorrow. Just to put it out there,
Here we go. Go
Frank
on.
Smith is going, not me, because I have very important meetings in America that I cannot afford to miss. So I won't be at that
You know
one.
how that looks, though, don't you?
Yeah, but that's what I'm telling you.
All right.
It's not for that. We're co-promoting the event. We're very pleased to be doing it and working with Top Rank. It's a great fight.
Is that fight definitely where it's meant to be, New York, Madison Square Garden?
Everything will be released tomorrow.
I just saw a whisper that it was going to be in the UK today.
No.
No, definitely not. Okay. But you won't be there anyway.
No, I will not be there tomorrow. He has my 100% support. Spoke to him today. I admire him for taking the fight. I just would have preferred it if he took the fight.
But when was the kind of the final conversation you had with him where you thought to
It's
yourself,
been done for...
that's not happening now?
Probably been done for a week, like properly done.
And what did you try to kind of
I
convince
put the
him
money
otherwise?
out. I did everything I could, you know.
Would you say you was over putting the money
Yes,
in?
absolutely.
Yeah.
I couldn't have done any more. I
And what-
wanted to deliver the fight for Kell, for British public, and for me. I wanted to see the fight, to be honest.
What does Kell Brook say about it?
I don't think he's over the moon. I think he always felt that the fight wouldn't happen, to be honest. But I said to him, I actually disagree. I think the fight will happen. But unfortunately, I think it's a bit of bad luck, to be honest with you, because the Crawford fight, it just popped up. And he just fancies the fight.
Are you saying without the Crawford fight, the Brook fight would have definitely have happened?
Yeah.
Okay. Kell Brook being linked with a fight with Jeff Hearn, was it?
Yeah, they've been on actually. I quite like that fight. I like that fight. I like the fight against Jesse Vargas. If he wants that fight, that can happen in April in America. He's obviously mandatory to Jarrett Hurd. He's got the Liam Smith fight. There's options. It's a bit of a kick in the nuts, but I think he always said to me, he'll never take the fight against me. And I said to him when I signed him, trust me, I'm going to get this fight. He went, Ed, he won't. And he was right.
But you did everything you felt like you could have
everything
done.
I could.
Yeah.
We couldn't have done any more. You know, outside of everybody losing money and Kel taking, like Kel was already taking a purse that he should have got a lot more than to try and make the fight. But you know, he wanted to take the fight because he believed that he could have won the fight. But we'll see. I mean, I think people say, is it dead now? Everything comes down to what happens on April 20th. If Amir wins, then it ain't dead. If Amir loses well, then it ain't dead. If he loses, you know, if it's a, you know.
But the fight is surely losing relevance
yes,
now, isn't
yes.
it? Yeah.
Whatever happens, it's nowhere near the size. Unless both have spectacular wins, then it has been what it is now.
Okay. Press conference. I think they've got one in America on Thursday as well, haven't they?
Yes, yeah.
Correct. Okay. Right, we heard Dylan Whyte on TalkSport a few days ago with some very interesting comments regarding an offer that you put to him for an Anthony Joshua fight. I'm just going to quote what he said in the interview with TalkSport, that he said that he used the term utterly ridiculous and also that he was getting less than what he made for the Chisora fight.
No comment. No comment. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Because we're making more offers and improved offers this week to a number of parties, I am going to, in about a week's time, I'm going to sit down, might even do it with you, and I will let you know what all these guys have been offered. Because this is the kind of sport where I don't think it should be made public, but do you know how frustrating it is when people think that Joshua doesn't want to fight Wilder, Fury or Whyte? Are you mad? Are you mad? This guy, 22 fights in, who's boxed Dillian already, he's boxed Vladimir Klitschko, he's boxed Parker in unification, Povetkin, Takam, Brazil, and you think he don't want to fight Wilder for the undisputed? He don't want to fight Dillian again? He doesn't want to fight Fury? Of course he does. But a lot of these guys who say, I'll fight Joshua, they need to bring a fucking asterisk with them to say, for an obscene, ridiculous amount of money. Deontay Wilder, one name, one face, one champion. They're not even coming back to me. They've had percentage offers increased. They've had flat offers. They've had two-way rematches for the undisputed title. They're not even entertaining a conversation. What more do you have to know about this man not willing to have the fight? Tyson Fury. You want the fight? You can have the fight on April 13th. You know the terms. You know the terms now. You believe you can fight Anthony Joshua? Let's do it. April 13th.
Does that mean you've sent an offer?
I'm not telling you. I'm not telling you. I will tell you in due course.
You said you know the terms, which suggests that
Yeah,
you
I
have
believe,
sent
yeah.
an offer to
Make it out or you
Tyson
will.
Fury.
Make it out or you will. He knows the money he can make for this fight.
How far is it off an equal split?
It's not an equal split.
No,
it's
obviously.
not far
No,
off.
okay,
It's
from
not,
your
it's
side
not,
of
it's
it,
not
it's
particularly
not.
far off.
Okay.
Same with Deontay Wilder.
60-40?
I'm not commenting. You're not a million miles away. But at what point do you get to a stage where that's why I want to come out and I'm going to want to sit down with you and say, these are the deals made to these fights. So every one of you doubters out there, every one of you knocking AJ or me can come around and go, fuck me, he turned that down. And then they'll all be laughed out of town. Not all of them. Some of them are getting improved offers. But when you find out the truth, you will say, fuck me, they are petrified of Joshua. Because if you believe you can beat Joshua and win the 4 heavyweight world championships, surely you have to put some kind of value on that. I'm not telling you have to fight for peanuts or even small money. But how much do you really believe you can win? Deontay Wilder, if you beat Anthony Joshua, you are the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. And you don't even want to have a conversation about it.
Are they airing you?
Shelley?
Yeah.
He's ignored 5 or 6 emails. So much so that my last email was to him and his secretary to say, I don't know whether you're ignoring me or these emails are going to your spam items, but I'm just checking.
That is a possibility.
But that's why I sent it to his secretary as well.
Fair enough.
6. Hopefully they have been all going to his spam items, and he'll read this and go, "Oh my God, Eddie sent me 6 emails." But don't be a schmuck at home and go, "Ha, Joshua don't want to fight Wilder." Look, am I going mad here? If you want the fight, Do you discuss it and negotiate it?
Yeah, I would say yes.
So what am I supposed to do? They sent an offer for 50 million. I said, we're very interested, send a contract. They didn't send a contract. I said, can we meet to discuss the offer? No. What the fuck? Am I, I don't know. Have I lost the plot here? I've got too much going on that I'm not understanding. Let me ask you a question. If they make an offer of 50 million, have I got a right to request a draft contract?
Yes.
Should they send it if they really want the fight?
Yes.
Should they at least meet me if they're making an offer of 50 million? Am I right to at least request a meeting?
So far, I agree.
Thank you. So what am I missing with people who are being brainwashed the other way? Now, okay, I understand you had a chance to make the Fury fight. Well done, good fight. You increased your value. So we go back with a new offer, increased offer. Am I right in thinking that if you want the fight, you come back with your thoughts on that offer or maybe a request for more money? If you really want that fight. Am I right? Don't fucking sit on the fence, tell the truth.
No, I just said I agree with what you're saying.
Okay,
so far.
so what am I missing? It's so frustrating. Fury, different kettle of fish. I think he's got a bit more about it. I truly believe Fury wants to fight AJ. I believe that. And let me tell you, AJ wants to fight him. So
unlikely though, isn't it? For
probably
April
unlikely.
13th.
But what I'm saying to you is, Wilder, Fury, Dillian, all three have an opportunity to fight Joshua on April the 13th. They can all do it. Not all of them, but one of them. Whoever comes up and takes that opportunity can fight for the IBF, the WBO, the WBA, and the IBO Heavyweight Championship of the World. Let me tell you, when Joshua boxed Charles Martin, he boxed him for peanuts. Why did he fight Charles Martin for peanuts? He believed he could beat him and become World Heavyweight Champion. What is it? Is it just a payday? Is that what you want? You'll get one. But is that all that matters to you? Or do you want to win those belts? Do you want to be the number one? Because forget Lineal and Kellogg's Special K breakfast titles and stuff like that. This is to be number one. You can't be number one until you beat Joshua. You can't. And I believe Tyson Fury is right up there with anti-Joshua. These two are levels above Deontay Wilder, in my opinion. But I don't care. You can be that Lineal, whatever you want. You ain't number one till you beat AJ. So be number one. Give him the fight. Give the people the fight they want to see.
Are you going to make Dillian Whyte an improved offer?
Yes.
One that's not, in his words, utterly ridiculous.
I didn't believe the first one was. I didn't think it was a great offer, but it was an offer to fight for the World Heavyweight title for several millions.
How realistic is it that you will scrap your April 13th date at Wembley?
75% no.
You lose that date, that's gone for the year, correct?
It's gone for the year.
But if you can't fill it with Joshua, then you haven't got another fight to put on.
There's a few things bubbling in the pipeline, but unlikely.
Okay, rumours, rumour mill. Klitschko Whyte to take that date.
I don't think that'll happen.
Is Klitschko even coming out of retirement?
I'm not sure that'll happen.
Is Klitschko being managed by Bernd Bonti?
I don't think so. Good news for you. He still said to pass on a message, Vladimir. He has the same mindset as Bernd.
Okay, fair enough. As long as it ain't Bernd doing it, I can take it from Klitschko. No, but Ed, give me something on this Klitschko thing. Is it?
I don't know. I think I just think it's such an attractive time in the heavyweight division that people who may have retired recently will look at the division and think, wow, it wasn't like that when I was fighting. You know, maybe Klitschko's looking at the heavyweight division and saying, God, I wish it was like that when I was there. You know, AJ, Whyte, Fury, Ortiz, Miller, you know, even guys beneath them as well. Usyk coming up. I would think there's probably not a day that goes past that Vladimir don't fancy coming back.
Have you spoken to Vladimir?
Because he's a big contender, and he's got a big heart, and he's a big competitor.
Well, you was expecting the rematch to happen. You went and booked a venue nearly, didn't you? Okay, so if Joshua doesn't fight April the 13th, we can only assume that he will fight Gerald Miller in New York.
Quite possibly, yeah.
At some point in the summer. It won't be in April, obviously.
No, it'll be May or June, probably. Very early June if it's June. But again, that's still the fourth. You know, Joshua wants Wilder. That's what he wants. Like, head and shoulders above every other fight. He wants to be the undisputed champion. He really wants to fight Fury. And to be honest with you, after Dillian's comments, he really wants to fight Dillian. He really wants to fight Dillian. I was with Dillian this morning. We're not just looking at the AJ fight. I'm here to represent Dillian. We've done a great job. He's had 2 back-to-back box office headlines, done really good numbers. He's had another box office fight against Joshua previously. He's got options. But I would like Dillian to fight Joshua for the World Heavyweight title. If we can't get Wilder, we can't get Fury, I really want that fight. I actually want that fight anyway because I believe Dillian deserves his shot. And we can't just keep waiting because you never know. Suddenly another fight happens and there's a rematch and then we're sitting here a year later and still Dillian Whyte hasn't fought for the World Heavyweight title. So for all the people who say to me, Hearn, you better deliver a shot for Whyte, the World Heavyweight title, it's there. The terms have got to be right. It's not like Dillian's just got to roll over and go, well, if I'm fighting for the World Heavyweight title, pay me what you want. He's built the right to have a big package for this fight, but he's also got a chance to win the World Heavyweight title. So I want to make sure that's delivered fairly to him, that option. If he wants to take another option and do something, I support him 1,000,000%. And he can have another major fight in the heavyweight division. But that option will be there, and I want to try and get it to a package that everybody's happy with.
Right, these next questions, you can answer them as quick as you can, because we've got to hurry this along.
Yeah.
Can you tell us anything about Usyk potentially fighting Povetkin?
I'm meeting him on Wednesday. I'm not sure. There was a story that came out about him fighting Povetkin or Ortiz.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure where that's come from.
So you've
Don't
had
get me
no
wrong.
discussions about that?
No, I mean, that'd be hell of fights to jump into the heavyweight division into. If he wants to, I'm all for it. But I'm seeing them on Wednesday in New York to plan his next date.
Can I come?
Probably April. Are you coming to New York?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Is Gerald Miller on the bill this week?
Quite possibly. I'll let you know tonight.
You're leaving it late.
I'm leaving it late.
Okay.
He's always been on the bill, but because the WBA situation, the fight that we were supposed to have, which was Trevor Bryan for the world title, isn't happening. So if he is on, he will be in a keep busy fight this Friday.
Katie Taylor.
Yes.
Another belt.
Yes.
Chance for another belt against Volante.
Yes. Katie Taylor is probably my favourite fighter in the world.
I know why.
Why?
Because she's very easy to deal with.
She's not easy to deal with. She's ferocious. She's given me a bollocking a few times. She's scary.
Go on then, give me your reason.
Because one, you know what? There's so many doubters, and every time she fights, you knock off some more of those doubters. You know, the ones that say, I hate women's boxing. Oh, it's not for me. And then you watch her light up every venue she ever boxes at. I have so much respect for her. She's purely driven by legacy. Purely driven by legacy. She likes the dough and all, you know. But let me tell you, she just wants. When I delivered that unification for her against Volante, I can't tell you how pleasing that was. I tried my nuts off to get that fight, and we got it. And I texted her and I said, "There it is." Sent her a copy of the signed contract, and because I know what it means to her, you know. And we're going to win that fight, and then it's Delphine Persoon for the undisputed championship.
So that fight will take place in Philadelphia.
March, yeah, in March. We announced that date this week as well.
You're doing
Big Paddy's Day.
back-to-back shows in March, yes?
Yes, well, March 9 we're going, and then March 15.
15. TJ,
Yes.
defending. Obviously, you've signed in MTK.
TJ Dehenny, yeah, shout out to MTK.
Yeah.
Fights Takahashi this weekend in New York, first defence, and then he's going to fight Danny Roman. Unification fight in early April.
One more thing. Have you spoken to the WBO about what they'll do with Andrade? Obviously, he's fighting Akabov this week.
No, we waited. He was allowed a voluntary before the end of January.
Right.
So this is his voluntary. The next one will be a mandatory.
Who's next in line then?
Lemieux,
Okay.
I think. I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, you know,
You don't know if they put Saunders in there or?
I don't know. Is he still banned with the WBO?
It was 6 months it was.
Yeah, that was in October. So yeah, the answer's yes.
Okay. I will see you in New York.
We'll do, old boy.